The Leaving Today podcast, the show about the news, history, and attractions of the Disneyland Resort.
Well, come on, Wendy. Let's go.
But where are we going?
To Neverland.
Neverland.
Hello, and hello. Welcome to the Leaving Today podcast, episode number 173. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, this morning, this evening, however and whenever you're doing it. We very much appreciate it. My name is Mark, one of the co-hosts here. Sitting to my right is the Trail Master of Puppets himself, Udi.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. So today it is towards the end of April 2023, second quarter of the fiscal quarter of what's going on here. So that kind of puts you in a time frame of when we are recording this. If this is your first time listening to the show, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you find the water to be very, very warm. It's honest, open discussion about Disneyland Resort and the company. We don't pull any punches, but that's how we are. So if you enjoy that sort of discussion, that sort of witty banter, then you found the right place. Today's show is sponsored by you guys, the listeners, you folks, the listeners. You can do that by going on to leavingtodaypodcast.com, clicking on the Patreon link, and joining our family here. It's $1, $3, or $5, a one-time fee or a recurring fee. It helps with our hosting fees and all that other kind of stuff. And we were just recently talking about going on. I know I've been talking about this for a year and a half about going onto YouTube, so I'm thinking I'm getting closer to doing that. So there's a few things we have to buy to get that going. So that is going towards that sort of thing. But if this is not your first time listening, well, hey, welcome home. Yeah, today we're going to talk about some attractions, the history of them, where they are now, where we think they're going to be in the next couple years. So that should be kind of interesting. A couple things. Since we are very close to Mother's Day, I want to talk to you about a couple cool people that we have, our listeners of the show. I want to talk about Renee from the Clay Flamingo. She does some really cool clay earrings, Disney-inspired earrings, and a bunch of other themes as well. So you can follow her at the Clay Flamingo. That's her Instagram. Super cool stuff. I think Jess buys some of her stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to give her a quick plug out for that. She's part of the Disney family. Also, something I wanted to talk about real quick is Castle Life Creations. Now, she does not need any help from us. She does fine all on her own.
Oh, Carrie, yeah.
Carrie. So she is a friend of ours, of course. She has agreed to do a little now, her next drop is May 14th. I think she does it every 6 weeks. It's a Sunday. I think 9 a.m. East or Pacific time. You got to check her site for the.
Yeah.
But her stuff sells out fast, super fast. She makes crazy sweatshirts, T-shirts, fanny packs, hats. All of that kind of stuff, Disney-inspired stuff, and it is top quality stuff. So
we're huge fans.
We are huge fans. So, and I'm going to put this online. When you go to checkout, you can type in the code LTP fans. That's LTP FANS, and you'll get 15% off your order.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you
that, Carrie. Again,
yeah,
much appreciated.
Much appreciated, Carrie. So, listeners out there, go ahead and do that. To save yourself 15%. It'll help her. So thank you for that, if you can do that. All right, so with that, we had an opening question. It came from our pre-show. That was from Renee's husband. And he said, have you guys done the Galactic Star Cruiser, and is it worth it?
Well, I responded to that on the live, but... for all those who weren't on, which are many, because we had a few people, but
yeah.
Everything I've heard
hold on, Udi. Someone may not know what the Galactic Star Cruiser
For
is.
all of you who do not know what the Galactic Star Cruiser, it is a Star Wars themed hotel over in Florida.
Right.
Right. So I think anybody who pays attention to Disney at a somewhat above tacit level has probably heard of it, and there have been a lot of questions. So I will say that when first announced, I was like, how cool. Like, me being the Star Wars guy, I'm like, that would be cool. That sounds like it would be a good time, and it'll be fun. And I thought, well, it's probably going to be pricey, but it'll probably be worth it. And then the details started coming out. I'm like, okay, well, maybe a little underwhelming. But, yeah, it may not be bad. And then more and more came out, and basically the reviews... Now, like most things, I always recommend, like when you hear reviews of anything, paying attention to who's making the review is important. Okay? So what I mean by that is it an influencer? Is it somebody who didn't have to pay for anything when they went there? You know, they're basically trying to be ad prop for Disney. And most of the positivity was, sadly, from those kind of people. Mm. So what I did is I waited for the real reviews, what I call the real ones, the ones from the people who actually paid the ticket price to experience the hotel and everything it had to offer. And I will say this way, that the reviews were from meh to just bad, which made me sad. So I just have chalked this up to, and no, I'm never planning at this point, no plans, and I don't even fathom, I can't picture a scenario other than here, somebody gave me it for free, that I would be going to that. Yeah, which is sad for me to say, but it's the truth. So yeah, no, I haven't done it, not planning on doing it. I think this is just another indicator of the problems with Disney. So, there you go.
Right. I mean, yeah, so the Galactic Star Cruiser pricing, it looks like it's a 2-day experience. I'm seeing prices just under $5,000.
And that has dropped because originally it was around $6,000, I believe.
Yeah. So guests, let me see, about $1,200 per night per guest. Wow, so it's not cheap.
No.
When we first heard this, I thought, oh man, this actually might be nice to come out to Anaheim, but I'm glad it's not here.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need that. To me, it'd be like a waste of space. Mm-hmm. So even if you're the most diehard fans, I'm trying to think. So who the people I know? So Udi would say no. Mm-hmm. Ricky might be crazy enough to do that. I mean, he's got a Han Solo and a Boba Fett life size in his house.
Yeah, but this is neither of those.
This is true. I can't think of anyone that would actually just go ahead and do this.
No.
There's not one particular. Whatever I'm into, there's nothing that would make me spend that much money for that experience. So I mean, the end result is I don't think this is something either of us would do. No. So they are slashing prices on this. That kind of is indicative of where we are, and what they think we want as a company. As a company, what they think we want.
I'll go back to what I was saying last episode, right?
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so that was the opening question. The answer is no and no.
And no.
and no.
No.
And scene. All right, so let's go to the news.
You listen to me now. You are talking about things that you do not understand.
Okay. So the first news item,
man,
unless you've been living under a rock, even people who aren't in the Disneyland were pointing this out and actually messaging me about it as if I had any inside information. I did not. Disneyland. So a couple weekends ago, actually it was last weekend, Disneyland's Fantasmic, the dragon they call Murphy the Dragon, engulfed in flames, destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
lost to the Empire.
Yep.
Disneyland states cause of Maleficent Dragon fire is under investigation. The fire effects have been suspended. 6 Disneyland cast members were treated for smoke inhalation following the Maleficent Dragon fire during Fantasmic last Saturday night. Disneyland stated on Sunday, that's a week ago today, they're investigating the cause of the fire, and similar effects at Disney parks globally would be suspended. These include the Maleficent Dragon's fire breath at Magic Kingdom's Festival Fantasy Parade. Disneyland has removed this weekend's Fantasmic performance times from their calendar. The Nighttime Spectacular previously had performances last Friday at 9 and 10:30 and every day after that. The Maleficent Dragon was completely destroyed by the fire, so when Fantasmic does return, the show will likely be performed in B mode with the dragon projected on the mist screen. Other pyrotechnics still could be suspended, but has not been confirmed. So I actually have seen this in B mode before. That's why this is very familiar to me. I mean, clearly the fire is brand new, but I know that sometimes Dragon didn't work and they had to use that B mode version.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same, but it's still pretty cool. What are your thoughts about all this?
Well, I have a couple.
Okay.
One is even though, me and shows I'm not a big show person.
Right.
I was sad to see that. I mean, it is very, that effect, that whole dragon alive in the fire and the whole thing is amazing. If you witness that, even if you're not a show person, it is a really cool effect and is a real cool, probably the high point for me of Fantasmic is that. Even when you look at their marketing, whatever, you have Murphy there, you have the dragon, it's all part of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it hurt. Like, that was super painful to watch him burning. Like, and at that point, there's nothing you can do. It caught on fire. I'm curious as to why it caught on fire.
Yeah.
So, that just makes me sad. But then automatically, the way my mind works, I switch over to, well, what now?
Mm-hmm.
And here are my concerns, and they're already kind of coming to fruition to an extent. Like any corporate entity, they're going to overreact. And they're always going, well, for the sake of safety, I get that. But why are you going to suspend all fire across the entirety of the company? What? Okay, you had a problem with one.
Yeah.
One. And now you're going to suspend it everywhere? Nobody got hurt. Nobody died. Nothing adversely happened. Smoke inhalation just means that they probably were sitting on the thing, had some oxygen treatment, and that was probably the extent of their damage, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's usually what smoke inhalation means. When you've been treated with smoke inhalation, you're being treated because you need to have more oxygen because of what happened, right? It's typical. That's all they got treated for, according to that report. So, thank God, nobody got seriously injured. Nobody did.
Right.
Other than property damage, what do you got? Nothing. So, it's an overreaction. So, my fear now is they're going to be like, well, we can never bring it back. And to me, that is a bigger travesty. So there's so many layers to this one news story, because the other layer, and I'll go there, is, and I put it up in our thread when we were talking about it, and I'm going to keep on saying until it's corrected. What's going on with our company, with the company that we sit here and talk about, the problems are going to begin to bubble up.
Oh, yeah.
The facade, the shiny facade is getting scratched off because the company, the people who've been running the company, not the day-to-day people, not the people in the trenches, not the ones who put their blood, sweat, and tears into running the parks. It's the people above. They are not being good stewards of Walt's legacy. They're not. We can argue all day long about the specifics of that, but I think overall, we're comparing apples to oranges, whether or not that's bad because of this or that bad. We're talking about bad things. So when you see Murphy going up in flames, I just kind of, my mind automatically went to, was like, there's a giant, massive visual signifier of what's going on at the corporate level for Disney right now.
Yeah.
It's on fire.
Yeah. I must say, when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's kind of symbolic of what's going on. I mean, it's bad timing, but like, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to talk about it. And again, I try not to be negative. I'm trying to be realistic. We always try to end every episode with an upbeat, because at the end of the day, we're still feel good for what is, but just talking about the reality of where we're at and what we need to do to keep our Disney alive and keep it to a point where we're happy and where we want it to be and where it should be, in our opinion. But anyway, so that's the thing, is like, so I'm afraid that, one, they're not going to rebuild it. Two, they're going to be like, well, now we can't have any fire effects. I don't know why. Why? And then three, it's you guys need to pay better attention to your maintenance of your parks. You need to be paying attention to all the things that you guys used to do. The show was everything. For Walt, the show was everything. We've all known that the show has been faltering. And we can blame any number of things. We're not in the boardrooms. We don't see the line by line reports about in and out and money spent, and I get all of that. But this is a huge visual representation of what's going on with Disney right now. And hopefully we hear they figured out why it happened. And I'm going to bet dollars to donuts it was a maintenance issue.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how that kind of stuff works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I will tell you, in my basic stuff, when I'm dealing with fire in my job, I'm checking my lines before I start. I have a gas line that I turn on. It's just oxyacetylene and my torch. And I always have a way to extinguish any flame that I may catch. Basic on a minor level. If it's hot, don't touch it. The basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you're dealing with anything that can do damage or destroy, there's maintenance to it. Like if one of my hoses looks kinked, cut, worn, boom, done, stop.
Yeah.
Same thing with my fall protection. If I'm 30, 40, 50 feet in the air, before I put any fall protection on, I inspect it every time, even though I know where it's been. I know who's used it, only me, because it's mine. But I inspect it every time. There's no way around that. So whenever there's an accident, you have to trace that back, and it's usually going to be a maintenance issue. It's usually going to be somebody faltered, somebody cut a corner somewhere. Now, if it was a corporate thing or was it an individual thing, I don't know. But don't overreact. Rebuild Murphy.
Yeah.
Put a new one up and make it a big deal. If Disney's smart, they will make it a big deal. They'll rebuild him, get him done again, and then have a huge unveiling of Murphy 2.0 or the rise of the rise of the dragon, or do something cool with it.
Sure. Would you So I mean, just to make a point, they have not said they aren't going to do any of this stuff. This is just we hope that they don't. I mean, we hope that they do this.
Yeah.
But let's say you are part of the financial team there at Disney, and you're looking at projects we have for 2023. Would you go, maybe we should hold off on Splash Mountain and get Murphy up and running before that, put all of our towards that, or should we keep going with? But they must have money allocated for emergencies. They probably don't. Who knows? Well, they might.
I'm going to go with no.
But would you at least float that idea to the team?
No, because I would say we need to figure out how to get them back up and running as soon as possible.
Yeah, but what I say, would you divert some of your efforts to getting, because they're looking at May 30th?
I would look at where we could. Yeah. And if it came from diverting from the retheme,
Yeah. I would do it for the treehouse. I'd say, hey, let's put that on hold for now.
Yeah.
Let's get everyone.
I mean, I have no idea what a price tag would be for a huge animatronic of that nature.
I heard $10 million, but I can't believe it would be $10 million. For what?
Dude, you'd be surprised. The hydraulics that to operate something of that size is significant.
Okay.
I mean, I will operate a piece of heavy machinery, basically an oversized forklift with, huge off-road tires and stuff like that. The hydraulics that go into that unit alone, I forgot what I looked at the price tag, was $500,000
Oh, geez, yeah.
for it,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like $500,000 for one of them. It's right in that ballpark, depending on what year and what features, like anything. So yeah, it's a complicated thing, and all that is custom.
Sure.
All that is custom work.
Yeah.
So appreciating the work that, and I think that's another thing too, is appreciating the work that, the original builders made of that.
The craft, for sure.
And so I think I think it's part of the legacy of Walt Disney to rebuild it, really.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we should see how that goes. On the very positive side, well, I'm glad nobody was hurt. That's the main thing.
Really, that's it. Yeah, like I said, it's property damage, no human.
Secondary, I'm glad nothing really got, trees or anything on Tom Sawyer Island were messed up. So that's good. I'm glad none of that happened. But as we speak right now, walls are still up around Tom Sawyer's Island. However, the Davy Crockett Explorer canoes are able to go around the island. So all of everything else, I'm sure Mark Twain and the sailing ship Columbia are still going around doing their thing. So that's a really good thing. Okay. Next news item coming up next week is going to be May the 4th, and that brings a lot of festivities at the parks, which is great. I'm glad they're doing this, and this is going to be a Star Wars Night 2023. It's going to happen May 2nd, May 4th, May 8th, and May 11th. And
what? I'm sorry. I'm reading your whole.
So I guess Udi, I'm not sure if that's a happy or a excited or confused reaction, but we're going to get to that. So they just listed a bunch of meet and greets at the park for these events. So we're going to go over them real quick. Also, the meet and greets and photo ops. So let's go through what they are. So on Main Street, USA, we've got Ezra and Sabine, Captain Rex, and the Seventh Sister. Mm-hmm. Does that move the needle for you, Udi?
Yeah.
I
all of them, all three of them. Like, wait, what?
Are you looking at your phone to see if you can get down there for that?
I kind of want to.
Okay. So I'm actually glad we have those four characters there. Adventureland's gonna have Sam Wessel. Wessel.
Zam. Okay.
I don't know who that is.
So, that was more of why I was like, wait, what? Okay. So Zam Wessel, and I'm bringing it up for you. No, not you. Where'd you go?
Okay. Do I know this character?
Here, I'm going to show you Zam Wessel, and you're going to be like, what?
Okay, let me see. Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
Okay, so hold on. Let me bring it up.
He looks like a what is he? Alien creature? Is he good or bad?
Okay, so Zam Wessel was in was Attack of the Clones?
What?
He was a shapeshifter in Attack of the Clones. That's what I was like, wait, what?
That's who that is?
Yeah. That's why I was like, okay, that's like reaching back. That's why I was like, okay. I don't know a lot of people are going to know Zam Wessel. That's why I was like, what? Okay.
Well, interesting.
Yep.
So in Fantasyland, they've got Queen Amidala.
Which is very cool.
Yes.
This droid, though, is it who I think it is?
Frontierland has C110P. I have no idea who that is. And BB-8. Of course, you know who BB-8 is.
So Z110P, I hate that they have him on there as that because I don't even know him as C110P. It's Chopper.
Oh, that's Chopper?
It's Chopper.
Oh.
They should have put Chopper.
Oh, okay. Well, then, Chopper's one of my favorite droids ever.
Yeah, Chopper. That's why I'm like, C110P is that? That's why I was like, wait, that's Chopper's numbers, right?
Okay. Critter Country has some Ewoks and R5,
I love that.
R5-D4.
Yeah, R5 and the Jawas, dude, and Ewoks at Critter Country.
Yes.
Heck yeah, dude. Great. Legit.
Yes.
See, I'm as we're going, I'm bringing up these pictures because I know who they are. I know Mark doesn't, so
I don't, but I'm going to ask. Can I ask a Star Wars question while we're at it? Mandalorian season, the last season, I think it was episode 7, when that R5 droid was trying to open up those shields, the red one, and then those little mouse droids.
Yeah, the mouse droids.
Is that R5?
Mm-hmm.
And you know where I'm going with this. Is it the same one we see in episode 4?
Mm-hmm.
That blows
Yep.
up on purpose?
Yep.
Okay, that's
It
what I
is.
thought.
Yeah, it is. And if you look closely,
It's intentional that he blows up.
you're right. And well, that's a theory. And then
Okay.
and then if you look at the back where his motivator came out, you can see like the oil streak still,
Okay.
like from when it burned out. Yep.
Okay, well, that's a little bit deep. Okay, so in Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, I would imagine would be the prime spot for this event. You've got Chewbacca, Kylo Ren,
Which are normal.
Rey, V Marati, which is that girl with the blue hair.
Correct. Normal.
C-3PO.
That's cool.
That is cool. And Mandalorian and Grogu.
Normal.
Tomorrowland has Vader and Maul.
Good. Both cool.
Yes. R2-D2
Cool.
should be with C-3PO.
He should be, but what do I know?
And then Emperor Palpatine and his royal guard.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very
I saw that last year, and I go, this is what they need. Man, how awesome. Okay, so in addition to that, we're not going to go over that right now, but all the other food and everything like that, but they have other photo ops that are going to be available throughout the park. So in Frontierland, they're going to have a Mythosaur skull.
Cool.
That is and that's a great spot for that.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrowland's going to have Boba Fett's throne.
Cool.
Bo-Katan Kryze's throne.
Also very cool. How many people are going to do their leg over the edge like oh my gosh.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Emperor Palpatine's throne.
Cool.
Yes.
And Jabba.
Jabba the Hutt. I assume so that's a
man.
photo op with him. Okay. Fantasyland's going to have
Dude, K2SO. How
Yes.
great is that?
and Rebel Base. I don't know what that is, but and then Critter Country's going to have speeder bikes, and that's
That's cool.
actually a great spot for that.
Fitting.
They're getting better and better at this. It's cheap. I wonder if it's sold out.
Probably.
Probably. While Udi looks at that, I'm excited that they're doing that. Okay, next news item is Udi's looking at it right now. I'm sure it is sold out, right?
Yeah, hold on. Sold out.
All 4 dates? Mm-hmm. Okay, so all 4 dates are sold out. I'm not surprised, and I'm glad that this is I'm glad this is going on for them. So so for next year, anyone who wants to go, take your just do it the first day you can, because these, I think, out of any of the events, sell out. That's great. Okay, next news item: Peter Pan's Flight, Mr. Toad's Alice in Wonderland, and Ariel's Undersea Adventure at Disneyland Resort all closing for refurbishment in June. All 3 Fantasyland attractions and the California ride are scheduled to be closed beginning June 5th. The Disneyland Resort calendar doesn't extend beyond this date, so a reopening date isn't available yet. It should be noted that Peter Pan's Flight, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and Alice in Wonderland are in the same building.
Yep.
So there must be some internal stuff they got to do and take care of. That's
Good.
Yeah, that's good. Nothing shocking there. And of course, the Little Mermaid's over at DCA. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's keep that in mind if that's something that's you're going to be there at the parks during that. And then this other thing, I'm not so fond of all this. Now Disneyland's promoting this Halfway to Halloween. Mm-hmm. They held a Halfway to Halloween event at Walt Disney World to highlight Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which I will be going to this year, by the way.
Cool.
In Florida, finally. Been waiting for 3 years. But they also did confirm the return of Oogie Boogie Bash to DC. That's nothing that's we all know that's going to happen. Yep. But they have like special like food for Halfway to Halloween. What is all this about? I mean, money. Yeah,
because I mean they're trying to market. They're trying to find new avenues of revenue.
Yeah.
And really, when it popped up, I'm like, what the? I began to look through it, and I'm like, it's actually not bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I don't know if it's going to catch on, but a lot of it was kind of cool.
What, that they're doing Halfway to Halloween? Okay, so
like some of the merch, some of the food. I'm like, oh, it's not a big thing. I don't think it's going to be one of those things that's ginormous, like, oh, we're halfway to Halloween.
Yeah.
But I think it will have a lot of people interested.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know how long it's going to stick around, though, to be real.
I mean, Halloween or this halfway?
The Halloween part thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying is, are we going to see it next year?
I don't know. But what I do know is that when when that starts happening, like Halloween, that's when I think the parks start coming alive,
Mm-hmm.
and people get, because here in California, you know, it just gets, our summers get so hot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, okay, we need a break. We need like a reprieve from all this stuff. And then Halloween comes, or at least the idea of Halloween, and people lose their mind over those Starbucks drinks, whatever those are called, pumpkin spice lattes. Yeah, I know exactly my reaction. But they go, and it gets people excited because the park changes, and then there's a little bit of excitement in the air. So that's what I mean. Halloween is. It was never like this when we were kids, or even teenagers, or like young adults doing this. But anyways, that's what's happening. That is actually the news right now. I know off the top of my head, there's a lot of construction going on in downtown Disney right now. I know that Catal's closed, Uva Bar's closed. That's going to be rethemed for that new higher-end Mexican restaurant. I heard that Tortilla Joe's is closing this summer, if not sooner. Probably not to be reopened. So, yeah, there's a lot of changes going on. But there's a lot of construction over there, too, so curious to see what all is going on.
Yep.
All right. So let's go over to our feature presentation.
And now for our feature presentation.
Okay, so what I thought we could do is the randomizer comes up with attractions that we want to keep, modify, or remove, and and it will continue to do that. I have no control over the randomizer.
No.
But we were going to request it to see if we could do like come up with an attraction that could do like do the history of it real quick, where we are with it now, and how we see it fitting into the park in 5 to 10 years. Now we could do like a 10,000-foot view of this, or if you want, I could take some time for a future episode and do like a really deep dive into like an attraction. But so, what do you want to do?
Why don't we go ahead and just see what the randomizer decides to throw at us this time?
Okay, so we've got the top 3 rides are the Incredicoaster, Pixar Pal Around, which is the Mickey's Fun Wheel, whatever, and the Jungle Cruise.
Huh.
Okay, so so in this case, I mean, I could do a whole show on the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, we could.
But for the time being, let's just do a little bit of history of the Incredicoaster and where that is now.
Mm-hmm.
And then where do we see that fitting into DCA in the next 5 to 10 years?
Right.
And we could do that, and we could do, well, you know what? The Incredicoaster and Pixar Pal, they're right next to each other.
Yep.
So we can do both of those. Okay, yeah. So let's just start with the Incredicoaster here. And I don't have this off the top of my head. I had to do a little research here. So this guy has actually it has its roots down in starting in like 1998 of October of 1998. Disney did announce that a new theme park would be built next to Daisyland. Themed after the history and culture of California, and it would include a steel roller coaster that would actually feature a new type of propulsion, linear induction motor, which is LIM for people that know that. That's when it does that countdown, that big magnet just shoots the train up and over the hill. It has a maximum speed of 55 miles an hour and a vertical loop, right? So it has the signature Mickey Mouse head in there. So this thing actually debuted in 2001 in February when it was originally called the California Screaming.
Yep.
So this one, in the terms of Disneyland Resort, relatively new.
Yeah.
2001, I would say, is relatively new. So it is built by a company called Werner Stengel. They're actually designed by them and Intamin, and it is the 8th longest coaster in the world and 3rd longest steel coaster in the United States. So I did not know that. So that's a little bit of the history of that particular ride. And of course, being from 2001, so from 1955 to 2001, Disneyland, Disney property had nothing that went upside down at all. So that was actually, I think they reserved that for Magic Mountain and Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
So it was quite the shock. but good. No, it will shock in a very exciting way.
Yeah.
So it starts in 2001. Then it changed to the Incredicoaster when they had the whole retheming of Pixar Pier.
Right.
And we were doing our show when all that happened. And of course, I've been on both versions of that attraction. Of course, Udi has two.
Yep.
The whole retheming of, we can say the same thing with Mickey's Fun Wheel because they are the same exact situation. They opened up at the same day in 2001. They got rethemed. It was Mickey's Fun Wheel. Now it's Pixar Pal Around. What do you think of the retheming of all that?
Well, okay. When it opened up as California Screamin', I remember, and I have told many people like that one of the funnest roller coasters you can be on.
Sure.
And we all know now. I mean, if you've been on it, you know how it's always it begins with a kick in the pants and doesn't stop the entire way through.
Yeah.
And that to me, that's what makes it kind of unique to a lot of the other roller coasters in the area. I mean, the only other ride or attraction that I can think of that was even remotely was Knott's Berry Farm's Old Montezuma's Revenge.
Yeah.
For anybody who's been on it, was a simple one loop up to the end, then you come backwards, go through a loop again, and then you go up, and then you're done.
Yep.
Super quick, but the reason why the similarities were there, in which I always liked Montezuma's Revenge, is because of how it began. It's literally you get shotgunned out of the starting area.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, first time on California Screamin', and after watching it, I'm like, oh, like it reminded me of all that. So, for me, I love just the ride vehicle, the whole the attraction itself.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what skin you have on it. It could be nothing and just painted white, and I would still be like, let's go. So
Sure.
that being said, when they rethemed it, I kind of was like, okay, as long as they don't change, and which they're not going to do, it's too big of a thing.
Right.
Try to nerf it or do anything like that to slow it down or anything like they didn't. They left it alone as far as I can tell. So when they rethemed it, I didn't really find it to be anything earth-shattering or
No.
The only comment we made, and I will continue because it's the truth, is you can't write it in the same way during the day as at night.
Yeah.
All they did is made that attraction that was already fun, day or night, a little bit more fun at night just because it's dark.
Yeah.
And then they made it where it's absolutely the only time you want to ride it is at night.
Sure.
Because you miss a quarter of the effects, if not half, or a third of them. Mm-hmm. It's a significant amount. But that being said, it's still a good ride. Like I said, it could be no theming whatsoever, and it could be literally called White Roller Coaster or Roller Coaster.
Yeah. Sure.
And I'd be like, well, we're gonna ride the roller coaster. Which one? The roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So, the theming is great as far as, like I said, for when they did it in Incredicoaster. All the theming in the area is great. The way they've done the whole story and everything is great.
Yeah.
I actually do like it, but again, it only really pays off at night.
It does.
Yeah. So we've done it before. The randomizers popped up, and often, this one has popped up in there, and I've offered a few ideas of how to modify it to make it better. So, but it's a great attraction. And do you want me to go into where I see in the future?
Yeah, but hold on. Yes,
Okay.
a second. But it should be noted that I've brought up the story before many times where that night that Udi and I we had the fast passes for Space Mountain, and it got shut down. Mm-hmm. And they let us pick another attraction, and that was the end result. Was the Incredicoaster, because they said, "Oh, you can go to Incredicoaster," but they were going to close at 10 or something, right? That night, and it was like 9.
I don't remember 9:30,
9. Yeah, 9. I know that
Maybe
we had
around 9 something.
It was it was closer to 9:30, and I go, well, we got it was jammed because they had a parade going on or something, and that's the whole night that these convoluted stories is that we were ushered. It was jammed because we were ushered backstage by the Jungle Cruise. Mm-hmm. And I got yelled at from a CM, and Udi thought it was funny, and rightfully so. That I was trying to take pictures, and then he told me to put my camera away, which is fine. But then we got over there. Back in the day of our annual passes, we just scan into DCA and jam all the way back to Incredicoaster, and we did it at night, and it was fun. It was so fun to do that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and then for everybody, like, we went from one end. I mean, you think about it. We were in Tomorrowland. We were in Tomorrowland.
You were right in front of Space Mountain, yeah.
All the way through into the back of DCA.
Yep. Like I said, we had to go through the parade, the single flow, and then escorted.
I remember thinking, oh, man, look at the time. And we knew everything was going on. I'm like, oh, man, I don't know, dude.
No, that's right. And in fact, I don't think we were running, but we were briskly walking, going, we were like, okay, maybe we gotta try. And sure enough, everything worked out. And then we came back into Disneyland, I think, and stayed till midnight or something. I don't remember anything much after that. No, I think we did.
Yeah.
So that's my little story about Incredicoaster, and I like the fact that they have those num cookies at the end.
Yep.
Because you see it all around. And they go, clever marketing.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you think this is going to be in 5 or 10 years?
Well, I think I hope it actually sticks around with the current iteration. It's not bad, like I said. It's actually pretty fun.
Okay.
I hope what they do is they'll find a way to improve it for daytime riding. I don't know how you would really.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe do a B story, something. I don't know. But to be real, I doubt they ever will, because I mean it is where it is, and I don't know if they're going to want to put any money into that.
Yeah.
And with the retheme of San Francisco and everything, I think they're leaning harder into that, which is fine. It's actually pretty good. I mean, if they're leaning into Pixar and doing Pixar Pier and all that, then lean into it, and then keep it relevant. So that would be the only thing, is like, at what point in time, maybe in 5 years, The Incredibles will be so far removed that maybe it'll be time for a retheme, depending on what comes out from here to there. I definitely, maybe not in 5, but in 10, yeah, I think in 10 years, the retheme will be in store.
I don't disagree with you. I think 10 years, it might be a little bit different. Yeah, because Incredibles might not be relevant at that point.
Exactly.
Pixar will be.
Yeah.
So whatever else they have, I mean, gosh, that could have been a whole other. I mean, I'm trying to think of what other attraction, right? What other theme could have had?
It could have been attached to Big Hero.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't the end fight in San Francisco? How they're with the little nanites and everything going around.
Oh.
You could definitely be battling with nanites and things like that.
Yeah.
With Betamax and you could do that. I mean, you could retheme it to WALL-E even. I mean,
Sure.
WALL-E, because WALL-E's a classic at this point.
Yeah.
WALL-E is never going to go away.
No.
It's never. Incredibles, I don't think will either, but they don't hold the same gravitas, I don't think, as like WALL-E does.
Probably not.
So it will depend on the relevance of the IP attached, and then also the riders going. Sooner or later, if the attraction loses its relevance, the numbers of the riders will drop. And then at that point, they may go, look, okay, we need to get people back on this thing, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then what are we going to do?
Sure.
So definitely the next 5 years, I don't see anything changing. Maybe in 10, the discussion will be, maybe everything might be in order. But again, depending on what is going on in the park in 10 years.
Yep.
Yep.
I totally agree with that. And now let's go this real quick to the Pixar Pal Around, which again, the same opening date and same retheming because it's all part of the Pixar Pier. I don't see that thing changing in 10 years. I mean, I think what they have is a really good. It encompasses. I think it hits the majority of Pixar characters. Each bucket or car has its own theme, which is great. It's definitely iconic now that you see it, and that may be. I mean, so I don't go in the teacups because I get sick. Same thing with Star Tours. But that Pixar Pal Around on those swinging chairs, and I mean, I'm with Jess on that. That thing freaks me out. My daughters love it. Well, Ariel, scared to death, but Annika will coax her to go on it, and that's always a fun time because she loses her ish doing it. It was funny. I mean, not literally, but it's funny because she screams. And I'm like, okay, guys, do not rock the car. Do not do anything. I'm going to hold on to the center part.
You and me are never going to ride it together?
Oh, no, we will. I mean, I'll calm down.
Oh, no, because I'll be the jerk and be like standing up and trying to make it rock. Okay. I told you about the last time I rode it, didn't I?
No. No, with your cousin?
No,
nephews?
No. No, I didn't ride it with them. I don't think I did.
I don't.
No.
You went with her. You haven't been there with Christy.
No, I haven't been in the park with Christy. No, I was in the car with Joey.
Ryan or something.
No. Alex.
The big smooth.
Big smooth. And Corey.
Okay.
And so, Big Smooth, he's a big cat. He's just a big man. Joey, not a small guy either.
Right.
Not huge, but not small.
Were they on the same side?
Yeah. And I think I was next to Corey.
Okay.
So we were rocking that bad boy.
Oh, jeez.
I was loving every second. I'm like, yeah. Oh, man, that was fun.
Do they freak out on it, or do they like it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Like, I would not have done that. I've been like,
oh, no, that's what I'm saying. You and me will never ride because I will be that jerk, that a-hole. I will be like, oh, dude. And then I'm like, let's rock this bad boy. And you'd be like grabbing onto the rails like, no, stop. And I'm like, what? Oh, yeah. As
a side note, you've been to like county fairs and state fairs. Did you like going on the zipper?
I haven't been in so long.
Okay.
I probably would though.
Okay.
Well, but here's my thing. I usually don't ride county fair rides because they're mobile.
Sure.
And the safety records for things are horrible.
Yeah, true.
They're gonna pay somebody a minimum wage to do that. I'm like, nah, bro.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same concept for me. It's like I remember going there as a kid and just my white knuckling it. I do not move this car at all. But I'm getting a little bit better because once I'm up there and I get like the breeze and I can see stuff, I go, okay, now it's fine. But
yeah, come on, the view's amazing.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my God, it's great up there.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm not talking about the stationary cars. I'm talking about the ones that are on rails.
I know.
Okay. Those are the ones that freak me out. The stationary ones I can do whenever. But I still see this attraction being here in 10 years and with the same thing.
Oh yeah, no, I don't see them retheming that one at all. As long as the Pixar theme stays in the pier, it ain't gonna go anywhere. And it's fine. It's absolutely okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I'm not going to do the Jungle Cruise because, like I said, that might be a whole show, and that's something I might do in the future. But I thought it was kind of fun just to sort of do that. Okay, since I'm not going to do the Jungle Cruise, I'm going to try one more randomizer because the Jungle Cruise will take a whole episode.
Yeah.
First one came in Incredicoaster again. Yeah. No.
Splash Mountain.
You want to do that?
Yeah. The randomizer is spoken.
Okay. So Splash Mountain came up again with a gem.
I'm laughing because you guys all know where we're gonna go with this. This is great. This is actually great. This is gonna be another hour and a half right here.
No, it's not. We're gonna just do this real quick.
Oh, man, you randomizer. Dang. Oh, man. The randomizer for the win on this one, my friend. Oh, man, that made me laugh way too much.
Okay, so we're going to go with this because it's not going to be totally long. But
let's go.
Yeah, let's go. So this particular attraction, so it started here in 1989 at Disneyland. July 17th, 1989 is when it opened, oddly enough. It also exists in Tokyo and Magic Kingdom. 1992 for both of those dates. They opened the same day, actually October 1st and October 2nd in 1992 for Tokyo and Magic Kingdom. So the story about this, the plot behind Splash Mountain is a composite of several Uncle Remus stories taken from the animated segments of the film A Song of the South. Two versions of the attraction feature similar stories about the mischievous. Two stories with small differences, and tell the story of Brer Rabbit, who's a mischievous character who leaves his home in search for adventure. Brer Fox and Brer Bear, the antagonists of the story, are determined to catch him, but repeatedly tricked by Brer Rabbit into letting him free. So that's the whole story about all this. There's a lot we can talk about. Why this is even here at Disneyland. If you like, I was going to say, if you like these flume type rides, and I do, although I'm not really getting wet all that much, but I do love the concept of them. Knott's Berry Farm has a really good one that predates this one, and if you go on that one, you understand the mechanics behind Splash Mountain because they're very identical. So this started in 1989, and I think I went on it in 92, and it was a major line for that. It still is, actually. But real quick, again, the history, I'm going back. Splash Mountain was originally conceived in the summer of 1983 by Imagineer Tony Baxter. While stuck in rush hour traffic on his way to work, he wanted to attract guests to the often empty Bear Country into Disneyland, with the only attraction at that time as being the Country Bear Jamboree, which later closed in 2021. Plus, there was a souvenir shop, and I think the mile-long bar was there, which is where you could get drinks. I mean, not alcohol, but like root beer and things like that. It was Dick Nunis, the then president of Walt Disney Attractions, who insisted that the Imagineers should create a log flume for Disneyland, but the Imagineers were initially unenthusiastic about it, feeling that log flumes were too ordinary a theme park attraction to include in the Disney park. While trying to solve the problems, including a log flume, bringing people into Bear Country, and reusing the America Sings figures, Baxter thought of the Song of the South. Baxter and his team developed the concept of a zippity-doo-dah river run, which would incorporate scenes from Song of the South. The name was later changed to Splash Mountain after then CEO Michael Eisner's suggestion that the attraction be used to help market Walt Disney Studios' 1984 film Splash. The character figures from America Sings were reused in many scenes through all of Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and Brer figures were specifically created for Splash Mountain. So those three were created, but there was a lot of repurposed from America Sings. Plans to include the ride were unveiled in January of 1987. So 87 opened 2 years later. That's a pretty good turnaround time. At the time of its unveiling, Disney officials stated they would not be expecting criticism for a Song of the South theming due to the ride only including the film's animated characters. Construction began at Disneyland in April of that year, of 87, and by that time, Splash Mountain, whose budget had greatly risen to $75 million, had become one of the most expensive projects created by Walt Disney Imagineering. The entire park cost around $17 million in 1955, which translates to about $80 million in 87. According to Alice Davis, who recently passed away, when America Sings closed in April of 1988, production of Splash Mountain had gone far over budget. The only way to recover was to close down America Sings and use the character figures from that attraction. That's interesting. In the anticipation of the opening of Splash Mountain, Bear Country was renamed to Critter Country in 1988. So, folks, they have renamed this area before, and I suspect they might do it again.
Will be in the future.
Will be in the future. Splash Mountain was originally planned to open in January of 1989, but this was delayed to mid-February due to technical issues. The ride was delayed again to mid-July due to boat problems. Test riders made up of company executives were getting soaked rather than lightly sprayed. Would you want to be a test rider on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. As long as you weren't.
I got no problem.
As long as you weren't getting banged up or whatever.
Oh, I wouldn't even care about that one either.
Okay. So eventually, Disneyland opened. Disneyland's opened on January 17th, which is the park anniversary to 1989. To celebrate the opening, a television special was made called "Ernest Goes to Splash Mountain." Actor and comedian Jim Varney returned to play the role of Ernest in the special. You remember him?
I do.
And then in 1990, they installed the camera. So a little bit like a year later, they installed the camera, which is synonymous with Flash Mountain.
Yeah, well, everything now, yeah. Flash Mountain for a while.
Yeah, so that's where it was up until recently. So I did that part. Udi, what's happening now? Current state of Splash Mountain?
Well, current status is that it is going to be shut down May, what? Oh, is it shut down right? No.
May 30th?
May 30th, right.
Yeah.
So that is the current where we stand.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Why not keep it up like one more day?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
My friend from work, Justin, is going with his family that weekend, and I said, dude, you know you're going to be there on the 30th.
Yeah, ride it.
Well, he's going to try to ride it. I think that may be the last day of his 5-day trip there, but he's going to ride it way before that. But I just said, dude, you may not be able to ride it on the 30th, but I go, just go down there and check it out and just see what it is. I mean, I bet you there's going to be a lot of people there.
Yeah, there probably will be, and rightly so, because, I mean, where we are is they're shutting it down. They're going to retheme.
Why?
We've talked about
this. This is the first I've heard of this.
I know. Okay. So for everybody who doesn't know, they are closing that to retheme it to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. There you go. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah.
It's a big name. Anyway, so they're going to retheme it to that. Now, the speculation as to why is all over the place. But anyway, they're sadly, that attraction has, Splashmountain has lost a little bit of interest. I mean, there's no way around that. It is always a fun attraction to ride, but it has. I mean, the wait times and the lines have gone down. I mean, part of it is, I think a lot more people get a lot more wet than they're expecting.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't like the river run where if you're walking by river run and you're paying attention, you recognize you are going to get soaked.
You better recognize.
Yeah, you better. So those the other things. Like a lot of people, like we always joke about, is like you're really going to get wet. Like you have. I've never gotten off of that one without being at least like partly soaked, not from top to bottom, but at least last time we rode it with Patrick. That was the last time I rode it. I think I got like my shorts on the back down and my legs were covered, like got soaked.
Yep,
my upper body wasn't that bad, but that's because I ducked behind Patrick. Thank you, buddy.
Do you want to quickly quick synopsis of why we took Patrick on that one?
Patrick had never been on it. He was afraid of it, the drop. And now, mind you, this guy's ex-Marine.
Ex-Marine.
And I'm like, wait, what?
You've done some real life stuff that we could never imagine.
Yeah, and then he's like, no, I'm not going to ride. And we're like, are you kidding me? So he finally decided that he would ride it with us so Jess could ride it. And we have pictures of it, I'm sure. I know I've got it on my Instagram.
He's wearing Jess's shirt.
Yep. And we all rode it together. And so that was great. That's honestly one of the moments that sticks out in my mind of that attraction. The last, honestly, I'm fine with never riding it again. And I'm good with that being my last ride on that attraction. I'm more than good with that. Okay. And I'm actually, now that I'm reminiscing on it, I'm actually pretty happy that was my final ride on it. Because it was very significant for so many reasons. The main thing is like, and we put Patrick in front and like I said, I was like, you're going to be fine as I ducked behind him as he's getting drenched. But it was fun. And, but anyway, but so that's the thing is with it, it's been going down. It's clear, and I think a lot of people made a big thing out of the ties, and I'm air quoting ties, the song of the South, more and more lately. And I honestly, I've gone over ad nauseum that I think it's ridiculous. We've talked about it here. I, made my point and said my opinion that it isn't. The reasons why I think they're changing it to an extent, not completely, but it plays a role, I think are ridiculous and unfounded. I don't agree. Yeah. But that's where we are. They're going to change it. They're closing it within a month, and it will be gone.
Yep.
In its current iteration.
Yep. So that is where we are.
Yep.
And we will not see the return of this until late 2024 or 2025?
I think it was 25. No, 24.
Oh, yeah. So about a year.
We're talking about a year. Yeah. We're like, okay.
A year. And yeah, you're right. It did decline some popularity, but I think that wasn't anything to do with theming. I think it had to do with the overall state of the animatronics were dark, scenes were dark.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to go into that too.
Okay.
The overall, the upkeep of the attraction had clearly, I mean, even when we rode that last time, we saw many things. I'm like, oh man, that's not good.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. Like, why? Like a lot of the things are just down. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say if I had like my choice of if I was working there and they go, oh, Mark, you can work on one of these attractions, I might pick Splash Mountain to work on just because you're always around. I mean, you're around water. You're around people that are excited and then just coming back, just watching their faces, just all drenched and just laughing.
Usually laughing.
And I'd be laughing too, just helping people out of log. I think I would get a kick out of that.
Yep.
Except when it's cold outside. But then no one, well, actually, there are fools that ride that thing when it's cold. So the future is pretty much charted for that attraction. So the next 5 or 10 years, yep, it's going to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's going to be that way in 2033. That's 10 years from now.
Yep.
I don't see that changing.
No.
But I do see Critter Country changing the name.
Yeah.
And that's going to be interesting because what are they going to do with Hungry Bear? What are they going to do with Winnie the Pooh and Pooh's Corner?
Yeah. We've talked about it before, and it, because the randomizer decided to bring it up, we got to bring it up again.
The randomizer.
The randomizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to. Critter Country will no longer fit with what we got. Period.
No.
It does nothing anymore. What they're going to do, I don't know. I really honestly don't know. Somebody brought up like extending it out and making it like indoor theme and make Galaxy's Edge and bringing that like to the edge in this way. And I thought that was a good idea. But I don't think they would do that. Because they're just not going to do that. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. It definitely makes that area a little bit more difficult to manage and deal with for a theming purpose.
It does for sure.
And I don't know, maybe they scrap that area, maybe they retheme everything, use it for, I don't know. There are so many different things that it could possibly be, because I don't know how much space is back there either on the end of Critter Country. It backs up to what road?
What road that is? Well, Disneyland Drive.
Yeah. Okay, that's where that's. Yeah. So, I don't know, because Winnie the Pooh, all that kind of all that is. I don't know. Maybe they'll rename that back area to the Million Acre. What is it?
The 100 Acre Woods.
100 Acre Woods.
I mean, we're looking at it right now. This is Splash Mountain. I'm looking at a satellite map of Disneyland. This is Pooh's Corner.
Yeah.
This is that's got to be the show building for Winnie the Pooh. But look, I mean, there's some land here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about
extending out
this to make it some sort of Star Wars themed forest area.
Yep.
I mean, would you sacrifice? And we're going off the rails. So, would you sacrifice Winnie the Pooh for some sort of Ewok dark ride?
Yep. Bye-bye.
I would too.
And only be, I mean, okay. See, here's where you come into the difficult conversation.
I would do.
Pooh's a classic, though. So where do we put Pooh?
Well, yeah, I mean, Pooh needs to be
somewhere in the park. But where would you put him? Where would you put him?
He might have
Fantasyland.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Fantasyland.
Yep.
And you put him in Fantasyland, or you put him over here, across from It's a Small World, in that lagoon there.
Yep. You could put something over there.
But that might be where Avatar goes.
No, don't even get me going on Avatar. So it doesn't need to be in the park.
So we've got that. Or, I mean, if you're talking about maybe getting rid of this Fantasyland Theater, which I'd be all in favor of, you could do, they wouldn't move Winnie the Pooh over there.
No.
But he needs to be in the park somewhere.
That is the current dilemma. And I'll be real with you. There is going to be to me, there is no good answer.
No.
With them, doing this to Splash and retheming it to Tiana, they really created another problem for themselves. And I don't know what they're going to do.
They don't, but keep in mind that, so I know this is not great podcasting, but you can do this, go on Google Maps, and you could just go to Pooh's Corner, zoom out a little bit, the satellite. Across the street, that parking lot is part of Disneyland Forward. So eventually, they want to put a gate or a tunnel or something from here to there.
And that could be a pass-through. That could be something going on there.
Yeah.
If they're going to do Disney Forward and put that in that area, then it's going to be a whole other thing. And maybe,
all this.
Yeah, maybe going into that would not be a bad thoroughfare. And then they could do something with that, connecting to the other side of into Disneyland Forward. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe that's where, if they decide to extend Galaxy's Edge and they take Pooh out, they could put him back over here in Disneyland Forward as some new theme. There's a lot to unpack, as he likes to say.
Oh, I love that expression.
Okay. Well, anyways, that's going to wrap up this one. It was kind of fun to do this.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do this again. I think it's fun to always, I mean, we talk about it a lot. We talk about going back into history, knowing where we came from. Obviously, we're going to look at where we are current state and where we want to go.
Yes, absolutely. With
everything and in every attraction. I mean, without looking back into history, I don't think you can get a full appreciation of where we are.
Right.
And then you don't really have how do you form a clear vision for where you want to go?
Sure.
And that applies to almost everything in life. So definitely going into the park is like, okay, what did Walt start with? What do we get? What do we open up with? And where are we at, currently, and where do we need to go? And so we're gonna do this again. And then I tell you what, you guys, if you want us to do a deep dive into a specific attraction, like you already brought up Jungle Cruise, which I think will be the next one we do, because that one is one where we can go in there and play around for a while.
Jeez, I know.
But we can do that with a lot of them. We can do that with Indy. We can do that with Space. We can do that with where else can we go? We can do that with Peter Pan. We can do that with so many of them.
With even Rise of the Resistance.
We could do it with Rise. We could do it with Thunder Mountain. We could do it with pretty much the entirety of the park. Almost any attraction, we could look into it and go like, okay, this is where we are. This is where we started and where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
I think Fantasyland's a target-rich environment. Or no, I'm sorry, Tomorrowland. Fantasyland too, but Tomorrowland is a target-rich environment.
For sure.
Because of where we are.
Yes.
More with that. And so, again, I don't know. This was fun. And like I said, if you guys want us to cover one in particular, like, hey, what do you guys think about this one or that one? And it could be DCA. It could be any of them, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be, yeah.
And yeah, because DCA has had its own level of evolution and evolving and adapting and changing to where it is now. So definitely it would be it'd be fun. I think this is going to be a fun little series of to go with for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So that's going to wrap up episode number 173. Again, listeners, just to remind you, go check out the clay flamingo. Check out her clay earrings. Really, really cool artwork, Disney inspired, and she has some other things too.
On Instagram.
Also, go check out Castle Life Creations. That's Castle_Life_Creations. Go check out Carrie's work, and her next drop is going to be May 14th. And go ahead and use our code LTPFans with an S at the end for 15% off of your order. That would help her out, and there's some really, really cool gifts. If you want to reach out to us, you can feel free to do that on Instagram. You can DM us at Leaving Today Podcast or on Facebook, same name. Also, if you want to send us an email, info@leavingtodaypodcast. Udi, where can you be found?
You can find me on my other show, The Mando Show, a Star Wars show we just wrapped up. Season 3 of The Mandalorian. It came and went. Mm-hmm. And wow, that was really quick. Anyway, so we cover anything, basically Star Wars over there. So like I said, we just covered Mandalorian. Next on tap would be Bad Batch. And then we also have Star Wars Visions coming up, which is going to be fun. Then you can also find me on my socials, which are Twitter and Instagram. They are both HAXGOALIE, Hacks Goalie. And DM me there. I respond to all my DMs.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, afternoon, evening to spend some time with us. We love you. Adventures out there, and we'll see you in the parks.
See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Disneyland is now ended its normal operating day. We hope you enjoyed your visit to the Magic Kingdom and that the memories you've made will bring you back again soon.
No,
Yeah.
this is not a swippy swap.
You have to give me 2.
Nope.
One from the back. God, you're so slow.
Baby, that looks better than mine.
Nope.
Let me see it.
Nope.
Let me see it.
You know, if I take it off, it locks and no one can touch it.
That's fine. I'm not gonna. You don't have to take it off.
Oh my God, but you
Yeah.
make me hot.
It's so close, I can feel it.
But then when you pet her, she bites you.
Oh, well, that I have no control over.
Why you gotta ruin everything? Wow, these are smaller than I thought.
That's what she said.
Kitty.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Boy, was my face red.